All right, and all right. Looks like we finally got the live stream up. We'll have to let a few of you get tuned in here. I don't know where I see that at. Oh, I'll show you what we're working on too. You'll like this one. It's a continuation. It's a continuation, but I'm gonna get our HB going again. I'll message someone back here. Let me pull up our live stream so I can see the chat when you guys and gals start to come in. And while I'm waiting on you, I think I'll just go ahead and start hooking things up here. A little bit at a time. Damn phone. We get the Ethernet cable hooked up, get our keyboard hooked up, and of course get our mouse hooked up. So we got all that in there. Where's our power cord? Who knows? We probably don't even need a power cord where we're going. Yep, we need one. Hey, we got a viewer. Welcome to the stream here. We got stuff going on. I'm not sure what I got going on, but I got something going on here. We get a few more people in, and I'll turn the thing down and show it to you. We just got to wait for the peoples to get in here. The last video, too, Tuesday night's video did pretty good. I want to thank you guys and gals for that. We're picking up subscribers, so the channel's looking good again. And I'm really happy to see that. It looked like it had went still for... I think it's just the summertime. I've heard in the summertime that the YouTube videos kind of drop a little bit and that they pick back up again in the winter. So that's fine. I mean, we're still going to drop the videos on Tuesday night, and I don't care if 100 people view them or 100,000. It doesn't matter. This is what it's about. So we'll get a few more piled in, and I'll flip you down and show you what I'm working on. I'm kind of excited about this one because I've been ready to get this machine going again. I had it sitting down there and I had stolen some parts out of it, so it's time to put some parts back in it. We did fire it up, but the hard drive we had in there just didn't have any space on it. So we had to get rid of that because we didn't have no space, and now we have, I got some NVMe drives in, and I put one of those in the Mini ITX, and I have the other one right here because I had planned on using it in this machine right here. The problem is there's nowhere for that to plug in on the motherboard. So we're going to have to use a boot card, and I have one of those too. But the problem with the boot card is the standoff is missing on it. I can't remember what happened to it, but there used to be a little... It had a nut on one side and it had a standoff on the other that you screwed the screw into. But I got an idea. My shop brain is working, so that's a good sign. We have zip ties. That's right. If you're missing a screw, don't worry. A zip tie will do. So we got a zip tie to take care of that and hold that hard drive down. Other than that, though, can't remember if I preloaded Windows 11 on that hard drive or not. Well, hello, Tony. Welcome to the chat, buddy. Hopefully we got the audio and the sound and everything working. And get the emails to quit going off here. It looks like the sound's working. I can see the audio from across the room, so that's a good sign. I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys down here so you can see what we're working on. Might as well see it. It's the HP Z440, and we're going to put the 512 gig NVMe drive in this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing it now, and that way we can get it fired up and tested. So we got the hard drive in here. It is a Sabrent. I think I got these on eBay. I bought 2 of them. I bought one for the Mini ITX, and then I bought a second one for this one. And this is the second one. But I was messing around with another motherboard with a 4th gen, and I'm pretty sure I already loaded Windows on it, but we'll find out. If I did, it's not the Windows I want on it, I'm sure. So we're going to zip tie this bad boy down since we're missing the screw. There's nothing wrong with that. If you got zip ties, use them, right? I'm going to try to zip tie it down. These zip ties are probably older than I am. That's bad. All right. Well, I don't want that popping out. It would have been easier with the screw, I'm sure. But we'll make the zip tie work. It'll either work or it won't, right? Looks like it's holding it down there pretty nicely now. So I'm going to trim the access off of this thing. I could probably find a standoff to put in it to bolt it back down, but I don't think we need to. The zip tie will look fine. This has a cover on it, so you can't see none of it anyway. I'm going to put it in our second PCI Express slot down here. And on this one, you just push in on that. I need to line it up and see which cover that is. It looks like that guy right there. So we'll pull that cover out of there. And we'll get this thing sat back in here. Or sat in here, rather. That might be easier said than done. Oh, I don't know. There we go. It popped down in there barely, but it's in it. That's all that counts, right? This is a new enough system, too, that this should work okay in here. We're going to find out. Because we're definitely going to try it in here, right? Oh, we only got a few people in here. A little bit slow on the YouTube, but it'll pick up. We just got to give it a little bit of time. Be patient. Let's get the cover back on this awesome machine right here. Our HP Z440, since we got our hard drive in it. I'm not going to steal parts out of this one anymore. I'm tired of putting them back in. So we're not going to steal parts out of her no more. She is in her complete state right now once we get it done. And I got to figure out what my Windows 10 is. Wait a minute. Let's put Linux on it. Let's not put Windows on this one. Let's put Linux on it. I'm just sick of Windows. I mean, I'm after the problem I had on the ITX, and I've had a lot of suggestions on that. I can tell you guys and gals, it is the Windows installer. Period. It's the Windows installer causing that. I'm going to flip you back up where you can at least see me, because you're looking at the top of a... Well, you're kind of looking... Man, that's a hell of a glare. You're looking at the top of the computer, though. So we're going to try to... Well, we got it plugged in. We got our Ethernet hooked up. We got our Linux installer in there, our keyboard. Our mouse is hooked up, and I don't think we're missing anything. Let's go ahead and fire it up, and let's see if we can get into the I don't know, the boot menu. I'm going to try F12 first, but there's probably a 90 to 100% chance that I'm wrong about that. And I may have to go press capture on our capture card too to get that to work. So we're going to find out right here. Maybe you'll see something on the screen. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. The mouse is now lit up. Oh, well, it's not going to work because I plugged everything in except what? The HDMI cable. running to the capture card. So let's try that again, shall we? I think it kicked on automatically. I'm going to spam F12 and I'm going to see if I can get into a boot menu right here. Maybe we'll get something come up on the screen with the HDMI card plugged in. I don't know. It's not lighting the keyboard, but we got a solid blue light on the monitor, so let's see what it does here. All right, let's see. You don't have anything on your screen, but I'm going to fix that real quick because I'm going to go over here and tell it to capture. There you go. That's currently what that screen is doing over there. So you're seeing exactly what I was looking at. I'm going to try to get into the boot menu on it. And then we're definitely going to put Linux on it. That's going to be a little, I don't know if it's any faster than installing Windows. It may even be a little bit slower, to be honest with you. There we go. Try or install Zorin OS. Let's do that. Top option. So it went right into our bootloader. Nice. We're happy about that. That's the way to start the stream out. We'll see. But we'll have to see if it picks up our NVMe drive. Okay. So once we get into the bootloader, and we'll start to see that. We can Control C to cancel this. So let's try that. I don't think I need any checksum things or anything like that on the file system or nothing, because we got a brand new hard drive, but it looks like it's going to do it anyway, which I kind of find that funny. I don't know why it's doing it anyway. We'll try Control C again. There's Control, there's C. Our keyboard is definitely working. It says Control C to cancel file system checks. So it's not canceling it. So it's checking the file system. This is one thing I dislike about this installer. I mean, if you install the other Linux, they don't do that. So the one thing I don't like about Zorin is that it's doing that. I got a HDMI cable bothering me. I'm going to pick that up real quick here. Still a little slow. Tony, I see you in the chat, but I don't see anyone else. I guess we gotta wait for them to quit driving. They're probably coming home from work right now. I literally come in the house and swap my shirt. And I didn't have a lot of time, so I figured I'd go ahead and throw the live stream up, because I try to finish these by about 6 p.m. That way, about the time the wife walks in the door, I try to have all these done. So the ITX build, where am I at on that? I am still looking for a CPU on eBay. I don't know what I want to do for graphics on that thing, and we're going to need a larger hard drive in it. Oh, yep, hand right to the forehead on that one. I don't know. I thought about that stuff beforehand, so it's not like I didn't think about it, because I did think about it, and I just wanted to make sure that we had a good motherboard in that video. That was the whole thing about it. And of course, you do want to kind of get some bench testing done, so we were able to do that. I've also been thinking about the editing rig again. Honestly, I was thinking about that B450 gigabyte board that I got or X470 board. It's not a B450, it's an X470. So I was thinking about that board a little bit and wondering if I wanted to build my editing rig out of it. And honestly, the old Intel 4790K is working so good in there that I think I'm just going to leave it alone. I mean, it handles the live streams fine. It's editing the videos fine. So I don't really see any reason to change that machine. I'm just going to leave it like it is. This one, we're just going through a checksum. So if you guys and gals want to chat it up, start putting in chat messages. I'll read them and talk to you a little bit while we're running through this. I tried to cancel it, but it's not happening. So we're going to have to let it roll through here. So you see the same thing on my screen or your screen as I see on mine right now. Ugh, there we go. Check is, look, it took it. Why did it go through 70% and then it says that the check is skipped? Help me understand that one. But regardless, it should load in the Zorin, and we should be able to start the install right here. Yep, there we go. So this is what it looks like if you download Zorin and put it on a USB and load it up on your computer. Why am I putting Zorin? Well, that's just the sound coming from the computer. Why am I putting Zorin OS on it? Because I like Zorin. If you're new to Linux, and I'm not new to Linux, but if you are new to Linux, then Zorin is definitely a very user-friendly operating system. All right, so we'll stay with the US keyboard. We're going to let it catch up here. It's going a little bit slow. I want to make sure it detects our new hard drive we put in. So we want to make sure it detects our NVMe drive. And what do we want to do here? We want to do a normal installation, fine. Download updates while installing Zorin OS, why not? Don't participate in a census. Yep, we'll do that too. We're not participating in nothing. So it's preparing the Ubuntu drivers, it says. So we know that it's based off Ubuntu, right? We'll get this out of the way and I'll throw something else up here probably. I have another X470 board that I thought about getting up here and testing on to see if we can get it to boot up or work. But I thought about it and I don't have another processor for it. But somewhere I got one that I started to work on the pins, and I can't remember if it had a broken pin or not. But I never, no, that's actually a A5400. I don't know what I did with the, what was that I had? A 3600? That's the guy bent the pins on one of the marketplace finds. Tell me if that sounds right. That's an FX processor. I may have junked it, actually. I don't know. I don't think I would have, because I still got the 37X here that I burnt. I don't know if I've showed you that or not, but I will now. You can see right where that processor is fried. Literally. You see the black burnt mark on it. And make sure you can see that. We'll go right there. I'll watch the live stream until it shows it to make sure that we can get it up close enough. My big head's probably blocking the light. But there is a nice burn spot on that. And that pretty much junked that processor. Junked it. Gone, trash, done. And I don't know what I did with the 3600, because I'd like to take a look at it with a magnifying glass and see what maybe you and I and the rest of the people on YouTube that might tune into this thing can actually do with it today. Maybe we can make it work. I don't know. I doubt it, though, because I don't know what I did with it. I think I wrote it off, honestly. I'd worked on it for a while, and I think I'd actually wrote the thing off. So I can check back here. I don't recall seeing it, though, honestly. I had it, I worked on it, and it just did not go good. That's the best way to put it. It just did not go good at all. There's our fan that we usually use. There's my magnifying glass, my razor blades over here. But I would definitely need the CPU in order to look at it here. I don't know. I did put the 8-core in the motherboard, in that gigabyte motherboard, though, that we got working on last week's live stream. So I did put that in there, which is something that we could throw up here and test on. So the 8 cores in it. I would have to look around for the CPU because I really don't know what the heck I did with it. I know that it was bent pretty bad and might be laying up here, actually. Or I junked it. I mean, there's a good possibility that I decided that it was so bad that I junked the damn thing. I don't normally junk them like that because I got a 3700X over there that we're not going to fix because it's smoked, literally. And that was from a graphics card touching it the wrong way and shorting it out. Oh, we can install this now. We're going to erase the entire disk here. That's fine. This ought to go a little bit quicker now. We do use New York because it's East Coast. So name, let's put HP for Hewlett Packard. And of course, my secret password here, ultra secret. And I always check login automatically because I'm the only one that uses my computers anyway. Man, these live streams are getting slower for me. I go up to Thursday upload videos again, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if these pick up. Maybe I got to do something more exciting on them. We'll do some gaming or something. You guys tell me what you want to see. I figured a nice... I think we've already installed Zorn on one of these. I'm going to get this out of the way. As soon as this Zorn installs, we're going to... Because we've already been down this road before. I know we have, and I've been down it enough. We're going to get this guy up here. Because I have an idea for this. So right here we have the gigabyte board that this come out of the junk pile literally. And I told you that I thought I had an 8-core AMD for it, and I do, and it's in there. And I set it in there to test it, and we need to get it up here to test it. So I thought about it ahead of time, and I went ahead and I pulled the power supply back out of our, what did we have that in? Our XP machine. So I went ahead and pulled the power supply back out of that because it was our test power supply. So we can hook it up to this, and we can make sure that the 8-core works in it. And I did find the IO shield for it as well. So I think we might be able to put this in an old case I have over there. And it is a windowed case at that, and maybe we can put a budget build together out of it. I don't know. Or do we just go from that to one of our Intels that we worked on and fixed and put it in that case? Well, some of them we worked on and didn't fix. Or do we test my other Gigabyte X470 board? Because we can do that as well. That's up to you guys and gals. Whatever you want to see, just let me know. And it'll come up immediately following whatever crap I'm doing here. I didn't think about that. I should have installed a different Linux on it probably, but it'll be fine. It just be patient. It'll be fine. We'll get it installed on here. It should go a little quicker on an NVMe drive than it does any of the other drives. So that's a good sign. But now I'm kind of excited to do this other thing. We need a better CPU cooler, though, for that 8-core. I just don't think that guy's going to cut it too good, but it's what I had, okay? So if it's what I had, it's what we are gonna it's what we're gonna use on it. I can tell you that because it's what we had. But if it works okay, then maybe it'll be worth getting a better CPU cooler for it. Or maybe I can go through my box of CPU coolers and actually find a better CPU cooler for it. That would probably be the right thing to do. So we've had some tune in and they tune right back out. It is what it is, though. Welcome to the Sensation live streams. The Thursday stuff, right? I'm excited about doing this one. I'm gonna put it in that case too. I wanted to get the hard drive in the HP. I should have just set it back to the side after I did it because this turned into too long of a process, and I apologize for that. You guys want to go grab a drink or something? Do it. This should be getting, I don't know, you'd think it would finish sometime or another, right? I'm going to go over here and look at some stuff. Make sure we got the case over here ready to go. We do, sitting right here. I think it's actually the case with the cracked side panel. So it's what the, what did we have in it? I think we had the X, or that had the 3600 that had the bent pins and stuff that I was just looking for, actually. That's the processor that was in that case. So it's got a cracked side panel on it. But I think it would work good for a budget computer. You'll have to tell me what you think about that. Whether it'll work good for it or not, AMD 8-core, right? So it'll be an AMD 8-core, and I don't know what we'll use for a graphics card. We'll likely find something. Craig, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you in the stream. We'll get the chat going and get a few more people in here, I'm sure. We just got to get this install done and get past this dang HP machine we got sitting right here. So it ought to go through this part pretty quick, being an NVMe drive. So I guess it'd be just as fast. Did I plug it into a USB 3.0? Probably not. That would have probably helped if I'd done that, but hindsight, right? Nope. Hindsight, never good for me. It's still going pretty quickly now, though. I mean, it's starting to pick up pace on this part. And luckily for us, this is the last part, and I think it's actually downloading updates, too, as it goes along. So we'll get zoomed through this, and then we'll get our other stuff up here that I was just talking about. I would like to try that Gigabyte board, but I do not have a processor for that thing. So I'm down on Ryzen processors, and I need to order some. Not too many of them, though. I need one for that B450 board. So I said maybe a 3700X or a 3800X. Well, now I'm thinking probably a 5800X or something like that. Yeah, 8370 is a good one. I had a 9550, I believe it was, for a little while. I had the FX95. Was that a 9550 or 9350? I can't even remember. It's been years ago. And then I've had a couple of the 8350s. So I've had a couple of those. This is almost done installing, thank goodness. I'm just shaking my head and wondering why I done this, right? But it gets my HP Z440 working. And you got to see early in the stream, we got the hard drive in it, the boot drive, and I even did a zip tie on the NVMe to the card. So we zip tied the NVMe drive to the boot card. And it didn't have any problem finding the hard drive when we installed it on here, so that was good. And we're almost done with the install now. We'll let the rest of the downloads get done, and as soon as that blue bar goes across, then we should be good to go from there. And when it gets there, it won't be soon enough, right? It sucks sitting here watching this stuff. Typically, if I wasn't streaming, I'd just walk away and go eat some damn popcorn or something. I'll sit here and watch this thing. This will make you old fast. I don't know. If I could go back and have back all the time, if I could just get back all the time that I've installed operating systems or watch them install, I would have just months on my hand, probably years even. It's insane. I can't even tell you all the operating systems I have installed over the years. I wish I could, but that would just be a list that would take us, it'd take us probably the rest of the stream and longer. But a guy's memory isn't that good anymore. I have operating systems I prefer now, and I think you've seen that in the videos. When it comes to Windows, Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2, that's my go-to. I run it on my personal machines. It's on the editing rig. It's on my iRacing rig. I mean, that's what's going to stay on them. I have not been able to make iRacing work on Linux yet, and that is what I'll use the HP for. But I don't think it's going to because of the iOS anti-cheat until iRacing actually, I think they have to check something from what I read that they can, the iOS anti-cheat or the easy anti-cheat will work on Linux as long as the game developer enables it to. So you tell me in the chat if you know any different than that. So we may have to wait and see if iRacing will enable that, where we can actually run it on Linux again, because other than that, you know, with the Vulkan and stuff, it has no problem running iRacing now. So Linux can run iRacing now, but the problem is the iOS anti-cheat. So hopefully we just, there's enough stuff online about it. There literally is, and I'm pretty sure that the developers know that that's something that there's a good chunk of us guys, especially now. I mean, Linux market share is picking up. So I would see maybe more game coders or developers start leaning to Linux a little bit more. I think that's what we're going to see in the future. And I've always supported Linux because it's open source. And I've never understood why the open source Linux never took off mainstream, and the private companies like Apple and Microsoft did. So that's always kind of puzzled me. But I mean, when you get deals with Dell and HP, and back in the day, Gateway, which was one of the first biggest ones for the consumer market, when you get deals with them and then you prepackage it with Windows, that's what put Windows on the map, honestly. And you go buy a new machine. That I think my first desktop computer was a Gateway, and that's what quickly led me to upgrading computers, that Gateway. My first graphics card was a Voodoo. It was a Voodoo graphics card. That was the first one, and there wasn't PCI Express back then. It was AGP was the graphics slot. So you're talking about a long time ago. All right, this is going to have me remove the installation media and then press enter, and we're going to do that. And it should restart with Zorn on it, and then we can shut it down immediately and get to work on our regular scheduled program here. Nope, we don't have a regular scheduled program at SimStation. It is random, just random stuff. That's it. But let's see if I installed it right on the NVMe drive, and if it'll boot on our HP Z440. I can't say I've ever had Linux on it. You can probably order them though from HP on it with Linux on it. I don't know. I don't know if you could. You would have to tell me in the chat. I did not buy it new. I bought it off eBay, and I can't remember. It's just over $100 that I have in it. So welcome to Zorin OS 17. You want to start a tour? No, thanks. We just wanted to do what we did. Go to the display settings. I believe our resolution is going to be right. 1920 by 1080. We can go to the appearance and turn the dark settings and stuff on, but I'm not worried about that right now. I'm going to go there, and we're going to power everything off. Voila, that's it. Let's get some stuff up here and start testing. Get everything unhooked. Set it up here to the side. Unhook our HDMI cable. I got my, this is what I'll play with though when I'm not streaming. I'll hook this up. I might hook it up to the triple screen where my editing rig's at. And I may edit Tuesday night's video on it. I don't even know what Tuesday night's video is going to be, honestly. There we go. We'll turn you back straight again. What do we need? We need our 8320 gigabyte board. We need our power supply. And we're going to need some memory here and a graphics card. So without further ado, let's see if it'll boot with the 8300 in it. Or the 8320. I bet it does. I'll bet you money it does, but I'm pretty sure that is a good processor. I don't know why, because I don't know if I've ever tested the dang thing. I don't even know where I got it or what it come out of. Oh, I ordered it off eBay for a different motherboard. And then I ended up using the 8350 in it. So that happened. All right, let's get, I think this is 8 gigs of memory right here. We have that 120 gig hard drive that we can put in this thing too. 8 pin, but a 4 for the CPU plug, but we'll use a 4 pin on it. It should work okay. Memory's in it, processor's in it, fans hooked up. Graphics card that don't take an external power source, check. Should we hard drive it? Why not? We got the hard drive sitting right here, so let's throw the 120 gig in it right here and get it to boot up. Need a SATA plug for that one. There we go, we're plugged in. So all that's hooked up. What are we missing? Peripherals. Okay. Yes, we have our PS2 keyboard connection, which is a good sign. That means it's a good motherboard. If it has the PS2 connection for the keyboard, it's a good motherboard. I'm very fond of those connections on these computers and these main boards. So we are all hooked up, I think. I don't know. I kind of zoomed through that so fast that I really don't know if we're hooked up properly or not. I don't know. It's sitting there. We'll find out in a minute. We got to boot this thing up. We need a screwdriver because this don't have a power button, so we're going to jump across the pins on it. We're hooked up. If it works, not only should it boot up, but it should load into Windows or Linux or whatever's on that hard drive. I can't remember. I thought it had well, that sounded like something broke, but we're going to hope it didn't. All right, so we're powered on. We got fans turning on the graphics card and the processor. But we don't see no lights. There we go. She posted. So our 8320 FX8320 works. Oh, are we going to have Windows 11 on it? Yeah, this is the one that I ended up testing with the little ITX build. Check it out. We even got some AMD wallpaper for you. So this thing is set up. Do I got bench testing on this? Oh no. Surely I don't. Come on, this. Are you kidding me? I'll bet I do. Where's Nova Bench? Right there. We'll open that up, but let's also check and make sure we got drivers for some of this hardware in here. We'll take a look at the device manager and we'll see how bad that looks, right? And there's Nova Bench right there. I can imagine that this is not going to score very nicely. But let's go to the display or device manager. What do we got for display? There's our GTX 1050. That's nice. There's our hard drive. Processors. So we're not missing any drivers. Windows has them all. That's a good sign. Let's go ahead and run a Nova Bench on it. And see how this won't fail, right? I can tell you right now, this not breaking no banks. None. I don't know. You know what? A better test for this would be Heaven. Let's do Heaven benchmark. Heaven's a cooler one to look at anyway. Let's go medium settings on it. Well, that's probably not a good idea with that stock CPU cooler. We're probably going to be melting stuff down here. This would have sound to it if I set the sound capture up on it, but I don't know if I think I've done that, but it changes all the time. So there's your benchmark right there. We're going to let it run for a little bit. We're going to let it run for a little while. We'll see if it shuts itself off. I don't know if it will or not. I can see the chat over on the computer now. Hey, Keithy, what's going on, buddy? Man, I can hear the audio from it from over on this side. That's loud. So what do you think of the little FX8320 there, the old 8-core AMD? Looks like the frame rates aren't doing too bad on it for having a GTX 1050 in it. I don't know. I think that thing could still do some budget gaming. Older titles, of course. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything extravagant, right? But you could be down to run some older titles on that thing. We'll have to get a better CPU cooler for it. I'm going to pull the case out that I'm thinking about putting that in. So we can take a look at it. We'll let this testing get through to see if it survives it. I don't know how it could with that little CPU cooler on it, but we'll see if it does. So the camera view is not me standing back there. You're looking at the Gigabyte motherboard with the FX8320. And then, of course, you can see the Nova Bench in the background. I'm actually chilling now. I went and sat down at the desk, so there you guys go. I'm watching the benchmarking through the capture card over here, and then, of course, I'm looking at the chat on the screen. A little easier to see on a bigger screen than it is my phone, so... That little monitor I got that hooked up to is pretty loud. It's a pretty loud monitor. I need some ideas for live streams. I don't know if we should do some more gaming content in some of these, or I don't know. What do you guys want to do? I don't really want to do whole builds. I kind of like messing with the motherboards on it. I don't know. We'll see. I'll play around with some stuff on some of these Thursday night things, and I'll try to put something together that works good. We can go through the motherboard testing pretty quick, but the problem is you only got so many motherboards to test, and then you're out of motherboards to test, right? And I think we've probably been through about every motherboard I have sitting here. We could test graphics cards, though. I could pull all the old graphics cards out. We'll go through them and test them. But for the most part, I think I've already done that. I don't know. We might throw that one in that case, though, and make it a budget, extreme budget, old title. Maybe a Minecraft computer. Maybe we'll try it on iRacing. Maybe we'll try the 8320 on iRacing with a GTX 1050. Yeah, it's probably not going to work, but doesn't mean... I tried the old Dell XPS with a Core 2 Quad on iRacing not too long ago. So don't think I'm afraid to try this one. It looks like we're finishing up the test here, so we'll see what the Nova Bench score is. Horrendously low. We're going to find out. 75 FPS on average, 1889 is the score. 20.4 on the low, 146.3 on the high. Not terrible, right? Medium settings right here. And I don't really hear the fans ramped up real loud on the thing, so it looks like it held up pretty good. Looks like it done pretty good on its testing right there. So let's take a look at what we got here. We'll go to the system. Pull it over to the side. You're going to see an 8320 right there, 3.5 gigahertz, 8 gigabytes of RAM, running Windows 11 Pro 24H2. And I think it's even activated, so we have an activated license on it too. So we got it working. That works. We could technically transfer all this into that old case because we have the I/O shield. We've got, I don't know, we can put together motherboard screws, so we could technically transfer it in there. I wouldn't bet on it running Crysis very well. But who knows, right? Who knows what we could make it do? I've got some more unmatched memory we can throw into it. Let's shut it down right here. Oh, it's got updates too. Will the updates actually work on it? I don't know if they will. Let's get my mismatched memory out of here. We'll put it in there because it'll give us 16 gigs of RAM. That ought to give us a little bit better scores. This power supply sucks though, because I have the R9 280, which would work great with this 8-core, and I think you guys and gals you guys know that. But the R9 280 would work great with this. It's a great GPU for it. But the power supply don't have plugs on it, so no PCI Express plugs on the power supply, which means we can't do it. I really want to, though. I'd throw the 16 gigs of RAM in it in a heartbeat, throw an R9 280X in it, or maybe throw two R9 280Xs in it. That would work too. But we got it's pretty cool to have us an 8320 sitting here. It really is. And it's working good. That's the good thing about it. Why did I do the updates on it? Why didn't I just shut the damn thing down? Here I am wasting time again. Just wasting time. Story of my life. But you know, I do have the two Sapphire R9 280Xs. Where do I got a power supply? You know what? I have a computer we can put up here. Hell with it. We'll get this thing out of the way, and I got one. I don't know if I have a hard drive in it, though. I don't know what I got in it, honestly. It's the biggest computer case I own. It's a Corsair, and I think the case is called an A540. if that sounds accurate to any of you guys. And I'm pretty sure that when I throw it up here that it can run Crysis. I don't know what I'm going to do with this computer. So I do need to put it up here because it hasn't really been on the channel much, if at all. So I'll let you guys check this one out. It's been a long time since I've even plugged it in and messed with it, honestly. And I should sell it, but it's in such a big case that it's really hard to sell. You get, it's like the Leon Lee. I don't know on the Leon Lee, but that case is big and it's a heavy build, and I think that might be affecting the sell on that one. The other one though, I'm just getting low ball offers on it, and on the BitPhoenix build, and I'm not going to take it. I'll part it out on eBay before I give it away. A 6502 and a Ohio Scientific with a whopping 8K of RAM. Good times. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's amazing how little bit of RAM that we used to run back in the day. I used to tell my kids that, they would sit and laugh. There's no way. And I've told you guys this story before, but the first time I bought a 20 gig hard drive, and it was years ago, and I looked over at my buddy and I said, there ain't no way I'll ever use 20 gigs. Yep. And here we are. We got a 120 gig hard drive plugged in it. You can literally load the OS in one game on it, and then when you go to update the game, there's not enough space left. So you buy these 512 gigabyte NVMe's. Oh, I think it's shutting down now. We're going to help it speed it up. Will it take 16 gigs of memory? Let's find out before we get this out of the way and put the other computer up. Yes, none of this memory matches, but it's all DDR3 and they're 4 gig modules, so who cares? I've been down this road before. They're close enough. We're just going to see if it works real quick. Oh, wrong screwdriver, but it'll still work. It'll probably never boot again. It'll probably never load up or boot again. We probably found the weak spot for it. Oh, I think we posted. We did. You can't beat that. So now if it displays 16 gigs of RAM, then we're on to something here. We might be on to something with the 8320. We get 16 gigs of RAM and we are on to something. Is it going to load Windows? Yep. This is unreal. We're on to something now. We got it rolling. I don't know. Oh, it's still got the updates to do. I'm such a freaking idiot. Windows and their updates, right? It's probably about ready to break every part of this hard drive. It's going to break every part of our AMD FX8320 here. It's just going to break every part of it. The little gigabyte board is working good, though. I am happy to see that. That thing literally come out of my scrap parts pile because I couldn't get it to work. And it just sat without a battery in it. The BIOS ended up completely resetting in the thing, and now it works perfectly every time you fire it up. So we're good with that. That's a good sign. We're good with it. We're 96% there. Are we ever going to get to 100%? Man, I've just been waiting on these things. It seems like I literally put a live stream up and we've spent most of the stream waiting on stuff on these OSs. We're just waiting. You can take a look at our setup right there with our janky RAM in it. Oh, you got to love that. We're still stuck at 96% though. I don't know what we're into here. Wonder what old motherboards I got over here. What do we got? What do we want to mess with? Come on, you guys give me ideas. We don't want the new stuff. We want something old, right? What old shit do we got? i3-530, that's old. That definitely don't work. I tested that motherboard and that was an epic failure. What is this 450M prime shit right here? Oh, that motherboard don't work either. But we can't test it because we don't have a Ryzen CPU. What can we test, damn it? We'll mess with something. We did something really old last week. I don't know. I'm just looking here. Is that still stuck? No, it's at 100%. It should boot into Windows again. I just want to make sure we got our 16 gigs of RAM working on that thing. And then I'm going to look around here and find one more thing to put up before the end of our stream today. I'll find one more thing to put up there. I'd probably be all right if I wasn't all over the damn board telling you guys. I do got stupid HTPCs, these little ones. I really need to put one of them together for my TV. Because my little, well, let me tell you what happened. My little box, my little computer, what do they call them? The nukes that I use for my Plex server on my HTPC. That little guy didn't update its version of Windows and it's no longer supported and I can't get my Plex to work on it no more. So my whole Plex server is down. I went to put some movies on there for my wife that she wanted. And I tried to get into Plex and it won't even go into Plex because the server won't update. So we got to do something about that. All right, we're going to eventually find out if we got 16 gigs of RAM in this thing. Oh, look at that. We have our load in screen finally. Took us a while, but we're there now. And I had an idea. I still have an idea. We are going to test the other computer. Mostly because I haven't had it on for a while and I don't know what parts I stole out of it or if it even still works. That's the problem when you have towers sitting around. You'll rob parts out of them and then you'll go to do something with it and you'll go to power it on and it won't come on, and because they're either that or you can't plug the cord in because you robbed the power supply out of it. It seems like every time I get in one of my old systems and go to do something with it, it's missing parts. It's missing parts every time. And then I order parts for it and I do a video and put it back together. And then it gets sat back down on the floor. And then when I go to do something with it again, it's missing parts. What am I going to do with these older systems? I just need a room big enough I can set each of these up with a desk and triple screens, and that would be perfect. Something's wrong here. I'll tell you what's wrong. The fact that I'm still sitting here messing with this shit. That's what's wrong. Oh, what's it doing? Did it go? It loaded in? So it locked up. And now it loaded. That's got to be the slowest hard drive I've ever seen in my life for a solid state drive. There's no way. All right. Did our memory work? That's all I want to know. Do we have 16 gigs of RAM on this motherboard? 119 storage, 2 gig graphics, 16 gigs installed RAM right there. So all of our RAM is showing up. We now got 16 gigs and we're not doing no updates. We're shutting it down. We're done with this crap. I'm getting it out of here. All right, let's get this stuff unplugged. This out of the way. So that was a success. We got our 8-core 8320 working in here now. We got 16 gigs of RAM in it. That's a success right there. We're going to do something with that one. I got that little case over there, and I think that is exactly what we're going to do with this machine. But let's get it out of the way because I have another idea to throw up, and it's going to be the last thing I do. Because I'm really curious to see if this computer's missing parts that I'm about ready to put up here. Because it may or may not be. So I'm really curious to see if it is. Because like I said, I don't know, you guys might be the same way. You might set one to the side, and next time you go to pick it up and use it, it's missing all its parts. That's just how it goes. I mean, that's how life is, right? Kind of like if you got two cars that are the same kind, the same thing. We'll say classic cars too. That's better. So you got two cars that are the same kind, the same thing. When something breaks, you're going to take part off another car, off your other one. That's a fact. Especially if it's the main one you drive. If you like one better than the other, you'll rob the parts off the other one. That's a fact. Tell me this computer ain't big. These cases are huge. It's like we got the 1070 Ti sitting in this one. That might be where that come from. Let's turn it sideways here. That is a big computer. All right, we'll throw this up on top. Go ahead and plug it in first. That's our cables for our cable for our capture card. So we'll put the camera up a little bit higher so you can see over top this thing and what I'm doing back here. I think this might have the Ryzen 3500 in it. That's what I'm thinking. Could be. Oh, man. That's why I'll never mess with this damn thing. They don't have a PS2 port. Oh, you know what we're going to do with this one? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with it. Let me get my Mac keyboard out real quick that I hate using on these things. Oh. I need to show you this. This would be the better way to do this. So let's turn the camera over here. All right. So you're looking at me. But you're not going to see what I'm looking at down here because I don't have a long enough cable on that camera anymore. The onboard Ethernet does not work. I had to put a card on this one. It is burnt up on the motherboard. So, that Gigabyte Aorus X470 board that we got working last week, I think that needs to go in here. I honestly do. This board works, but it doesn't have onboard Ethernet, and I don't like that. And that's probably why I haven't sold it, honestly, because it doesn't have onboard Ethernet on it. Let's go ahead and see if it'll boot up now. It's in the Corsair. I think these are called an A540 case. Ooh. One of them fans don't sound good. Well, it went on and back off, so let's see if it comes on again. Yep, we're on. We got loud fans on it too, so that's nice. That's grand. That's great. Let's see if we post with it though. We'll find out if we're missing parts. How's that? Well, we posted. That is an ROG board, an Asus ROG board. So we'll see if we got a hard drive in it, what version of Windows. It should have Windows 11 on it if it's got a drive in it. No, it's actually got Windows 10 on it. Alrighty. So we got Windows 10. I'm pretty sure it is a Ryzen 3500. Maybe it's got 16 gigs, 32 gigs. I don't know. I don't even know how big the hard drive is in it. I can't remember anything. Not on this one anyway. This motherboard, though, come from my iRacing rig originally. which means it would originally had the 2600X on it, and then it had a 5800X on it for a while, because this was my board, because the onboard Ethernet quit when I used it for iRacing, and I had to put an Ethernet card in it on the PCI slot, and that's what I plug it into now, so the Ethernet works. But we have that really good X470 board that'll go in this machine. But the problem with these is, I don't know, if I RGB'd this case, I could probably sell it. Why is it loading so slow? What is going on today with the loading of these things? It hasn't been on in a while, so that could be one of the problems. There's no telling what hard drive is in it, because we don't know what I've swapped around on hard drives, what I did or didn't do. We don't know. I'd like you to see the computer, though, so I can probably do that. That way you can see what case we're working with right here. So that's the case. That's the Corsair. And I think it's called a A540. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And it does have the, I've just got red LED fans in it right now. So you can see that with the CPU cooler, and it's obviously RGB, and then the graphics card lit up right there. So that is what we got running. Is it still loading in the Windows? Probably. I don't know. Just help me understand, right? Well, it is signed in with the original hard drive because it has my name on it. So I'd think there'd be some applications installed on it, because I would have definitely used it for iRacing. There it is. All of it come up. So probably got Oculus software on here and all, because this, oh, it's got the capture card stuff, because I tested the capture card in it when it was set up behind here. So there we go. So it hasn't been terribly long ago that I probably turned this one on. I thought it had a 2070 in it, but I think I might have took that out and put it in the one that I sold, the Ryzen 5800. I think that might be where that one is. So we'll see right here. I'll get this, we'll see what it's got in it. I'm pretty sure it's got a Ryzen 3500. It just hasn't been started up in a long time, so it's kind of dragging its feet getting going here. There's probably updates and everything on this, if I had to imagine. This is going to be the last one I try on this stream today, though. This Florida heat is killing me. I'm tired. I ain't kidding you either. I am tired. Yeah, Tesla car case. You're not kidding about it. These things are huge, man. Oh, I got new rewards apparently for Rivals right there, Marvel Rivals. So that's nice. Maybe if all that shit wasn't trying to load up, it would go faster. All right, we have a Ryzen 5 3500 6-core, 32 gigs of RAM in this machine. Windows 10 Home 2004. So this is definitely my iRacing rig. It had a different CPU in it, but that's what it is. This was my iRacing rig. This was my main iRacing rig. Let's go here and see how big this hard drive is. I can't remember. I thought it had an NVMe drive in it, but it may have a SATA drive. And if it does, it's probably a Samsung. That would be my assumption here. I got ATVO and everything on it. That's how I know it was my iRacing computer. I probably broadcasted with it on the WFO YouTube channel too. If I had to guess, I would say that that's what I did with this machine. But it was an iRacing machine of mine for a very, very long time. Why is that not opening up? What? Help me understand. Why is it going so slow? There, it opened up 2 of them. That's great. All right, this PC. Just want to see how big the hard drive is. I don't care about anything after that. 500 gig hard drive. That's right. This exactly. Why do we want Copilot? We don't want that garbage on here. That's why you want to run other Windows, the enterprise version, so you don't have all that garbage on it like Copilot and stuff. You can, and the thing about it is you can get rid of Copilot and it'll come back, right? So it's probably all the stuff I got attached to the startup is why this thing is going so slow. I have never reloaded it because I'm pretty sure there's files on this computer that I need to get off here because, like I said, it was my iRacing rig. So I'm pretty sure there's files on it that I need to get off. When I upgraded that system, I upgraded the full system. So I had all this left over when I was done with it. And then I got rid of that upgraded setup and I bought the stuff and built the Intel that I'm running now on it. So this is it. I mean, you've seen it. This is the Corsair. This one's been sitting to the side for a while now. So we just wanted to boot it up. I don't have any parts missing that I can see. Looks like we got our graphics card in there. We'll take a look at the device manager just to make sure it is. The hard drive's in it. It's still loaded with all my stuff on it. So if I was going to sell this one, I would need to clear it out. But we can't sell it with that Ethernet adapter in it. We need a PCI encryption decryption controller, apparently. Oh well, 1070 Ti graphics card. So this has the 1070 Ti in it. We're going to shut it down. I may pull one more over here. You're going to like this one. You'll like it for what it is. That's all I can say. And I have it in a case and I have a power supply hooked to it. So we're going to be able to fire it up. That's the nice part about it. And I think you're going to like it. Let's get this one shut down and out of the way here. I need to work on this machine though. We definitely need to, I need to get whatever files on it that I saved the hard drive for. And then maybe we'll look at putting the X470 board in here. Maybe we'll look at that. And if we do that, it's got 32 gigs of RAM, so it is a capable system with a 3500 processor, 32 gigs of RAM. It's definitely a capable system. So let's get stuff out of the way here. I'm going to do one more for you because I love this machine and I'm still working on the custom case for it, but I got other stuff going on, like my boat right now. Got the carburetors off my boat, got it tore down, and maybe I should be YouTubing that stuff, right? You guys can see me rebuild the carbs on my boat, or you can see me work on one of the cars, or I don't know. It's up to you. All right, so you're getting one more. I definitely need to work on that one. We're about ready to have an avalanche of stuff too. We don't want that, but this one you're going to find one of my R9 280s. We ain't got a hard drive for it though. Yes, we do. We'll just use the one we used a minute ago. So this is a thermal case or Thermaltake case that I'd picked up. And this has a 1366 setup with an Asus Sabertooth motherboard. And we have everything hooked up in it except a hard drive. So we'll find that real quick. We'll get this thing plugged in. And it does have the PS2 port. Because you know I'm pretty fond of those, right? Okay. Where's our SATA plugins at? I don't know. I can't see shit. Let me flip it around. It's about ready to fall to the ground here. Let's just flip it over like this. We'll throw that down in the hole. Oh, we don't need to do it right. We don't need to do it right. We just need a hard drive in it. You can see it boot up. This build is going in the custom case that I built that's out in the shop. So that's where this build right here is going to end up going. I'm plugging a hard drive in because we're going to test on this thing. It has the 1,000-watt power supply because that's what's going in that build. And it's going to get probably the dual R9 280s in it. So we'll flip this around like this. And let's start plugging stuff in here. This is going to be the last one I power up today. So I'll save the best for last. 1366. What? I don't know what processor's in it. I think a i7-960. I don't know. I think this is the one I did the crazy overclock on. I can't remember. Let's get our, what do you call it, capture card hooked up real quick so you can see it boot and post. Ooh, that thing pops every time. It freaks me out. Where's our power button at? That's not it. There we go. That's got the big CPU cooler on it too. I love this machine. I freaking love this machine right here. Let's see if we get it to post for you. Well, it sounds like it is. It just slowed down. Look at that. Sabertooth X58 right there. So there it is. You can see the CPU cooler a little bit right there. I'm going to turn you guys and gals right back over in that corner where I'm going to be. And this should load into Windows. We have Windows in it. I appreciate those of you that have hung out for this stream today. I know it was a little bit slow when we were messing with the Linux install, but we got it done and we're testing one of my favorite systems right here. It's not in my custom case yet because that's not done, but I have cut some metal out for that case. Stray Dog, what's up, buddy? I have cut some metal out for that case, and you guys are going to like where that thing heads, what direction that goes in. I put a hard drive in it, but I don't think it's detecting it. It's definitely in there, but it's just flashing. Maybe we'll fire it back up and go into the boot menu real quick. I'm pretty sure this one has the i7-960 in it. This is one of the motherboards that Dan sent me. Really good board. It's actually the favorite one that I got out of that pile. All right, so Asus board, F12, F11, F10. What's our boot? F12, F11, or F10? And we'll get it to boot back up, load back up here. It should load into the... Now it's doing that again. I don't have my keyboard plugged in. That's part of the problem right there. What the hell am I thinking? Let's try it again. Now at least we should be able to get into the boot menu, because we do have a hard drive plugged in. It might be F9. Could be F9 on this board. We're just going to push all kinds of buttons here. Push all kinds of them, and we'll see if we get into a boot menu. Nope, we still didn't. Oh, mercy. I know what the problem is. We're not going to boot onto that hard drive because that hard drive is in UEFI. And this motherboard don't do that. I'm pretty sure this is legacy. I think the original first gen 1366s and 1156s are legacy. So if they're legacy, they won't have UEFI, and that Windows install I have on that hard drive won't work on it. We have to put Clover bootloader or something on it to get it to work, so I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yep. This one definitely has a legacy bootloader in it. You can see that the removable drives first, so let's go down to the SanDisk right here. So I'll show you that I put it to the hard drive and it still is not going to work. And then when we're done with that, that's probably going to do it for the stream tonight. We had a few people come in and out throughout the stream. I appreciate those that hung in there with me. I didn't have a solid game plan for this stream, so we've been kind of all over the place. Next Thursday night, I'm going to try to set you up in the shop, and we're going to work on the case, the custom case that this stuff is going to go in, because this is one of my personal rigs that I'm keeping. The components in here, but I'm right. Legacy. That's the thing with the legacy computer. That's going to do it, though, for the stream tonight. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you. Tuesday night's video will be up 6 p.m. Eastern, like every Tuesday night. And then Thursday night live streams. And I think, like I said, next week is going to be from the shop. But we're going to see. I got to make sure I can get the internet to work good there. Take care of yourself. Have a good, fun weekend. And I'll catch you guys next Thursday night on the live stream, or you can always comment on the Tuesday night videos, and I'll talk to you in the comment section. But that's going to do it. I want to thank each and every one of you that tune into these things. Like, comment, subscribe.